is May 1st, 2025. I'm in Trenton Transportation Center. Arriving is SEPTA Train 709 from Chestnut Hill East with, you guessed it, my babies. 7:16 on a point. I love these cars, but I don't think I have a lot of company in that regard. A lot of employees don't like them. They don't think they're going to last that long compared to the GEs. That may very well be the case, but I still love them. These cars are part of a 120 car order built by Hyundai Rotem. Employees have other nicknames for these cars, but I can't say it. It's a family channel. There's Bill waiting for his Silverliner 4s. What do you got in your hand? Oh, you got the keys of your trade there, literally.
Yeah, should be a fun trip.
Oh, all that time to go 20 miles, man. Howdy.
Listen, man, on-time performance is key, especially on Amtrak territory. I stopped asking questions a long time ago. Hopefully it's a smooth trip, though.
Yeah.
And hopefully I have working dynamics. If not, we're going to be in for a bumpy ride.
Well, hopefully someday you'll be able to go to Perryville on these.
Who knows? I mean,
they talked about it
at some point, so I mean, the ridership's back.
Here comes his steed. This is 3219. He's going to take it down to Newark, Delaware. Getting ready for G's. A padded schedule to Newark. No dynamics, straight air.
Yep.
I heard 6506. Yeah. 6506 the other day had 4 and 5s, had crapped out at Lansdale, and I had to get 4 more to drag it in.
Nothing surprises me anymore. But we're doing the best we can. Support your local railroad.
Exactly.
No matter where you are.
Exactly.
Long Island, Jersey Transit. Without us, it's going to get messy. So support your local railroad.
Yeah, you'll be there. Yo, Bill. Street subway at the City Hall station. This time of day they run locals, B1s, B2 expresses, and B3 Ridge Spur expresses. Well, here's a northbound local with these 80s built Kawasaki's that are still going strong. That Westinghouse AA2 horn they always sound when they come into this station at both ends, both tracks. Well, here's a northbound express, the B2 Fern Rock. Northbound local leaving City Hall. Right up front, you'll hear that AA2 horn real good when we round the curve past the station. Yeah, we're at a busy stop now, Girard Avenue. The B1, B2, B3, they all stop here. It's 3:10 in the afternoon. Let me explain the operations of the Broad Street line. There's 3 different Broad Street subway designations. The B1, that's the local from NRG to Fern Rock. The B2 is pretty much a rush hour express from Walnut Locust to Fern Rock, and the B3 runs from 8th and Market on the Ridge Spur to the Olney Transportation Center. And the Broad Street subway is probably the fastest subway in the country. They do 70 miles an hour on the expresses. They also run probably the shortest subway trains in the US. That's the B3. Runs from Olney to 8th and Market. Usually runs with just 2 cars. Well, this is another local uptown, or up to Fern Rock. Philadelphia Flyers painted, shrink wrapped. Let's go Flyers. Not now. I used to hate that team years ago. The Islanders always beat them up. So here comes a B2 Express from Walnut Locust to Fern Rock. Also at this station, you can transfer upstairs to the G15 trolley with their PCCs, but they don't seem to run that many. Mostly buses. So here's a B3 Express heading up to Olney with just the 2 cars. Try to go to some places where those expresses really fly and get some horn blasts. Susquehanna Dauphin, this is a local train stop. The B2s and the B3s fly through here. This is designed like many New York City subway stations. Yeah, the Broad Street subway has a fleet of 1980s built Kawasaki's that are still going strong. They take good care of these things. Kawasaki rail vehicles have done very well in this city, between the Broad Street subway and the Kawasaki trolley cars. comes a southbound. Gee, that didn't take long to go by. That's headed for 8th and Market, the B3. If you blink, you'll miss those. Here comes a Fern Rock B1 local. Comes an express. That was a B2 from Walnut Locust to Fern Rock. Man, those things really move. B3 for 8th and Market. All right, we're at the next stop North Philadelphia. This is where you connect to the SEPTA station here. This is also just a local only stop. The expresses go through here non-stop, even though there are shared platforms. But the expresses sound their horns as they approach the station here. Oh, here's a B3 going towards 8th and Market. He's stopping here. Got an uptown train coming on the express track. Yeah, the B3 trains stop here as well as the B1, of course. It's the B2s that don't stop here. Walnut Locust bound B2 Express. Here we got north and southbound B1s here. This station doesn't exactly smell like Longwood Gardens with all their flora and fauna, but there are a lot of odors of weed and marijuana here. Well, here comes a Fern Rock bound B2. Very good horn. Oh, here's an Olney bound B3. Long train. Not even the shuttle trains in New York City are that short. Here's a B2. Headed for Walnut Locust. There you heard a solid Westinghouse AA2 horn. This should be an Uptown B2. You hardly hear the horn with the din of the subways. No, I'm not out west. I'm at a local stop between Erie, Torresdale, and the Olney Transportation Center. Get some high-speed run-bys of the expresses here. Downtown bound. A B2. The B1s and the B2s run with a standard 5-car set, but the B3s are 2 cars. They can do 70 miles an hour down here. Just in case you were wondering, the speed limit on the New York subway is 55. Oh, here's a Fern Rock bound B1. I remember riding in 1930s built Brill cars on this line years ago. Replaced the old Brill cars with these in 1984.
Attention all passengers. As a reminder and for your safety, please do not walk between train cars. Thank you. Attention passengers. Please follow all safety guidelines when riding any SEPTA vehicle. Also, as a courtesy to others, passengers are reminded there is no eating, drinking, or smoking on any SEPTA vehicle.
Well, I can tell on this line that's not rigidly enforced. This is an amazing subway system in that speeds are reached as high as 70 miles an hour. And we will do that in a few spots on this run down to Girard Avenue. And I should also point out that this system uses a technology called Identra. It's where the motorman in the cab can program routes and line the routes and throw switches ahead of them. No tower operators. Man, he's booking through here. He's doing the 70 miles an hour for sure. I shot the ride this way in order to limit inside light from showing through. Railfanning this part of the Broad Street subway system, I can honestly say that my skin color was quite conspicuous. But just try to be cool. Just try to be cool. You can blend into the surroundings. But I wouldn't recommend railfanning this line at night. If you're going to railfan this line, period, I would recommend having someone with you.
Next stop.
And more 70-mile-an-hour running coming up.
Accessible station or Broad Street Line local, Broad Ridge Spur, and Route.
No stop here. corner of Girard Avenue and North Broad Street, alongside the G15 trolley line. They have some restored PCC trolleys running on this line. Got one coming shortly. As you can see, the G15 is also shared with buses. They run the majority of the traffic on this route. This is like maybe 2 or 3, sometimes 5 trolleys running in a single day. Okay, we're on a Fern Rock bound local departing Olney. Next stop is Fern Rock, the only station on the Broad Street subway where you see daylight.
Smoking is prohibited on all SEPTA vehicles. Please respect your fellow SEPTA riders and SEPTA employees.
Yeah, sure. The tracks you see going up there are primarily used for storage of bad order cars and sometimes equipment on layovers. This system was intended to be a much larger system than it is today. Sometimes they go around the loop at Fern Rock Yard, otherwise they just pull straight in. See what he does here. And you can see evidence of a Y track here, leading up to those storage tracks we receded away from. There was a Philadelphia Phillies game late this evening, and the Fern Rock terminal is very popular with people going to sporting events around the stadiums. You can get off a SEPTA regional rail train at Fern Rock, connect with the subway there, and it'll take you straight down to the stadium. All right, we're going to come out now. The stadium stop is the very last stop on this line in South Philadelphia. Looks like we're going to go around the loop through the yard. When traffic is less frequent on the subway, the trains use the left Y and go in straight to the station without looping through the yard. Daylight. The other 99% of this route is underground. Here's the shop building. You might see a couple of the old Brill cars sitting here in the yard, looking kind of decrepit, no effort being made to restore them. Well, at least looping through the yard, you get to enjoy more outside daylight than you would have if you went straight into the station without taking this circuitous routing. And that facility's where they service these cars. They've done a pretty good job with them. They're over 40 years old. That doesn't look too good. Somewhere over here you should see those old Brill cars. Ah, there they are. Those red cars. It's like there's 4 of them. One of them is a Bridgeline car with the rounded corners. Those dinosaurs. I remember riding on those things. They started up there. They really made a lot of. Okay, now we're going to curve around and go into the Fern Rock terminal. Here you can connect with SEPTA Regional Rail, which is what I'm going to do to go back to town.
Fern Rock Transportation Center. Last stop.
Well, you got to see all of the Broad Street subways outdoor running. Not much. Market Street subway, on the other hand, sees much more daylight. Wide gauge and underrunning third rail, unlike this. Is this the same car that I saw before, the Philadelphia Flyer car? Scott Lawton. A new era of orange. But there ain't any orange in the playoffs. Well, there's one of the standard Brill cars that ran on the Broad Street subway for about 40-something years before they retired them. That's a Bridgeline car that ran between 8th and Market and Camden, New Jersey. Notice the rounded corners on them? But they painted it red to match the other Brill cars. So that one is in a non-standard color. Well, the terminal's got a track clear, and this train that's terminating here is coming into the station. We're on the regional rail platform at Fern Rock as a Silverliner 4 comes in. Ooh. It's going to Doylestown. These cars with that hump on top, I should call these rolling dromedaries. thumping over the switches at Tabor. 6525 from Doylestown. I'll take this into the city. Center City.